Hello, and welcome to the Gennady Golovkin conference call. I will now turn the call over to the Golovkin team.
Thank you so much. Hi, this is Fred Sternberg, and on behalf of Triple G Promotions, Golden Boy Promotions, and all of our wonderful sponsors, welcome to Gennady Golovkin's media conference call. We are 11 days away from the big drama show, the rematch everyone has been looking forward to. Gennady is in his last week of training camp at the Summit in Big Bear Lake, California, where he's been working hard in preparation for his 21st and division record-breaking title defense. Joining Gennady on the call today will be his trainer, Abel Sanchez, and his promoter, Tom Loeffler. We'll also have Sergey, who will be translating the media questions into Russian so that Gennady can give you a full and better response to your questions. One note before we start, we'd like to invite you to participate in tomorrow's pay-per-view Undercard conference call featuring Jaime Munguia, Brandon Bad Boy Cook, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, and Moises Fuentes. And that call will begin at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific, so you don't want to miss that. So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Gennady's promoter, Tom Loeffler, to say a few words. Tom?
Thank you, Fred. We're just excited. The fight's almost here. It's the last week of training camp. Abel is up there in Big Bear with Triple G. They're finishing up their sparring this week. We do have the Superfly show this Saturday. It'll be on HBO. It'll have the Jim Lampley fight game special about Canelo and Triple G. So everyone tune in for that. That's September 8th on HBO. There's been a lot of things said over the weekend. We can address that on this call. Whether it's the anthems or the gloves. Just to touch on that for briefly. The Triple G team had nothing to do with approving or disapproving the gloves. That came directly from the Nevada Athletic State Athletic Commission, and also with the anthems. It was an agreement that we had reached as part of the deal that the anthems be played before the HBO pay-per-view. So there really wasn't any controversy, but controversy sells, and we just like to address the issues as they come. So with that, Fred, we can turn it over either to Gennady or if you want to start taking some questions.
Well, sure. Let's hear from Gennady. Gennady, welcome to the call. You must be anxious. This is your last week of training camp. How has camp been going? And are you looking forward to next week?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, just my training camp is great. I feel very good. Just my body, my speed, my power, everything is coming back. Just I feel like 25 years old. I need a time. Just last week for me.
All right, operator, let's give instructions on how to ask questions, please.
Thank you, sir. We'll now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star, then 1 on your touch-tone phone. If you wish to be removed from the queue, you may press the pound sign or the hash key. If you're using a speakerphone, you may need to pick up on the handset first before pressing the numbers. Once again, if you have a question, please press star, then 1 on your touch-tone phone. The first question in the queue comes from Brandon Stubbs with Punch to the Face.
Good morning, everybody. A quick question here for Gennady. Gennady, are you afraid or worried that some of your fan base may turn on you, given some of the negative remarks you made about Canelo building up to this fight, or are you just speaking your truth?
Геннадий, вам не кажется, что некоторые из ваших болельщиков могли от вас отвернуться после тех, заявлений, которые вы сделали против Канело в последнее время?
Сергей, давайте, наверное, переведите вы мне. Скажите, что я не сказал ничего плохого, во-первых. Я сказал только одну правду, и я не позволил себе ни одного слова оскорбления в его адрес. То есть я не думаю, что мои преданные болельщики отвернутся от меня.
Well, first of all, I didn't really say anything bad. I really said only one phrase and one sentence about that, and I never said anything personal, never offended him personally, and I don't think that my fans will turn away from me because of what I had to say.
All right, thank you. Best of luck here in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Okay. And the next question in the queue comes from Gail Sackman-Hall with Communities Digital.
Good morning, everybody. Gennady, you mentioned that you feel 25 years old, but I hate to tell you, you aren't 25 years old. Do you train differently now that you're 10 years older that you did when you were 25? Do you adopt any different techniques? And Abel, I'd like you to chime in on that as well.
Да, Геннадий, вы сказали, что вы себя чувствуете 25-летним, но я, к сожалению, должна вам напомнить, что вам на 10 лет больше. И вообще, как вы себя, как вы тренируетесь сейчас в связи с тем, что уже возраст у вас больше, чем 25 лет? Вы как-то изменяете свои тренировочные какие-то режимы, свой тренинг? И тот же самый вопрос будет Эбелю.
Тренируюсь очень хорошо, чувствую себя очень хорошо, тренируюсь как 36-летний человек.
Okay. I'm training very well, I feel great, and I train as a person who is 36 years of age.
Gail, to answer that question, I do train everybody similarly. They work together in the strength and conditioning, but in the sparring, obviously, we modify that as the fighter gets a little bit older, just so that we don't leave things in the gym. But he still works just as hard as he's always worked. It's just a matter of me making the schedule so that it's best for him.
Thank you, gentlemen. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question in the queue comes from Dan Rafael with ESPN. Your line is open.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Hi there, Gennady. My first question for you is I've been hearing and reading a lot of the comments from Abel and from Canelo where Abel has said Canelo ran in the fight. Canelo said no, that was the game plan of how he wanted to fight. I'm wondering from you, did you think that the way that he fought you last September constituted him running in the fight? What was your opinion of the style in which he fought against you?
Мы говорили, несколько раз говорилось о том, что вот Канело как бы бегал от вас по рингу, так об этом сказал Эбел. Канело сказал, что это его стиль, он таким образом боксирует. Вот как с вашей точки зрения, действительно он от вас бегал по рингу, или вы как-то по-другому видите его стиль? И как, то есть имеется в виду ваш бой, который проходил в прошлом году в сентябре?
Просто сколько мы его видели, до этих боях он ни в одном бою не бегал, то есть он всегда придерживался, что это именно и есть его стиль, такой атакующий это. А в последнем нашем бою он начал бегать и говорит, что то есть это его стиль. То есть в очередной раз он не держит слова, очередной раз он обманывает, то есть народ или журналистов пытается, то есть выгородить себя, поставить себя в такую ситуацию. Он будет делать, что хочет, и будет говорить, что хочет. Какая разница? То есть на это не обращаем внимания.
Well, we were watching his fighting style earlier, not just in last September fight, and well, he was always, he was always have his way of running on the ring, but it was his style. However, what happened on our last fight, he was really avoiding to having a closer fight with me. So I think it's that's exactly what happened. But what he's trying to say right now, it just proves that he is not keeping his word. He's trying to deceive people again, not and being dishonest. But it doesn't matter what he said. Let him say whatever he wants.
All right, I have another question, Gennady. As Fred said in the introduction, this would be a record-breaking victory for you in terms of the middleweight title defense. Record would be your 21st. I just wondered if you could express your perspective on what it would mean to you if you were to achieve a record of the most middleweight defenses in the history of boxing.
Как сказал Абель, для вас это будет очень важный бой, потому что вы побьете рекорд по количеству защит своего титула в этом весе. Это будет 21. И что для вас это значит? Насколько это для вас важно? Вы можете прокомментировать?
Да, я бы очень хотел бы побить рекорд бы. То есть для меня это двойная, как бы, и побить рекорд, и побить Канело. То есть для меня это очень важно, и для меня это, наверное, самая большая цель в данный момент сейчас.
Absolutely, it's very important for me to beat this record. So basically, it's like two type of victory: to beat Canelo and beat this record. So for me, it is the most important goal at this point.
And Tom, if you could chime in on that, as far as your perspective on the possibility of seeing Triple G break the record that he's tied with Bernard Hopkins.
Вопрос Тому.
No, I think when you put it in perspective, Dan, it's it's a tremendous. It would be a tremendous accomplishment if Triple G is able to break Bernard's record. Most people thought, that was untouchable. 20 middleweight title defenses, and as long as Gennady's been champion, he's the longest reigning champion right now in the sport of boxing. And regardless of what you say about both guys, this is the biggest event in the sport of boxing. They've agreed to fight each other. And to be on this big of a stage, this platform, the biggest fight of boxing, and if he's able to beat Canelo and break the record at the same time, as you said, this would be a huge accomplishment for him, all on the same night.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Look forward to seeing everybody in Vegas. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
The next question in the queue comes from Rick Mays with Washington Post.
Washington Post, Rick Mays.
Hi, guys. This question's for both Gennady and Abel. I'm just wondering if there's any frustration or regret that this fight didn't happen 5 years ago or 6 years ago when both fighters were a little bit younger. Can this still be the mega fight that everyone wants to see?
Это вопрос и для Эйбеля, и для вас, Геннадий. Вам не кажется, что жаль, что этот бой не состоялся где-то 4-5 лет тому назад, когда, значит, вы были, и оба бойца были в своей лучшей форме? Это не кажется вам, что это немножко было бы более важный и более интересный бой 5 лет тому назад?
Возможно, почему нет? Ну, то есть мы не могли добиться этих боев даже 2 года тому назад. То есть они бегали, сколько у них было возможностей, столько они избегали этого боя. И они даже отдали свой пояс, если вы помните. То есть они отдали пояс в ВБЦ, то есть они категорически не хотели боксировать. То есть мы никак не могли получить этот бой.
Quite possible, but not even 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, we couldn't get them to fight us. They were trying to avoid it in every way possible. If you probably remember, they even gave up one of the belts. It's the WBC. They gave up and trying to avoid us.
As far as I'm concerned, no, there's no regrets. I think that Canelo has grown in the last 4 or 5 years. A couple years ago when they gave up the belt, they knew they weren't ready for this level of fight. It's happening now, and we look forward to this being one of the most memorable fights of this decade.
Abel, in your experience, at what age does a fighter's skills typically kind of decline? I mean, I think Triple B's 36 now, and you're still seeing growth and improvement out of him?
Oh, I'm seeing slight growth, but I think it depends on the weight and depends on the type of fight. You have a guy like Fernando Vargas who was put in a lot of difficult fights early in his career, and by the time he was 26, he was finished. And then you have guys like Bernard Hopkins fighting into his 40s and in the early 50s. So it all really depends on the kind of fights and the kind of fighter and how the fighter takes care of himself. But Gennady, I haven't seen anybody dominate him in the ring, not only in sparring but in the fights. And until then I can say I would judge a little age. But until that happens, it's difficult to say he's getting old.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you. The next question in the queue comes from Keith Eidick with BoxingScene.com.
Yes, my question is for Abel and for Tom, and if Gennady wants to chime in on this also. Just wondering where you guys are at with the hand stacking, with the wrapping controversy, and where you guys might be with the commission and Canelo's side on that.
Вот это вопросы для Тома и для Эйбеля по поводу обмотки, намотки бинтов. Если хотите, Геннадий, вы тоже можете что-то сказать.
Tom, if you don't mind, I'll say that I'll leave it up to you. You're the one that's on the point on that, so go ahead.
We want to clarify. We want to clarify everything ahead of time with the Nevada Commission, so there's no fight week confrontations, especially no fight night confrontations like we had last time. I will say that the reason why Abel was so surprised by the reps last time is that every other jurisdiction that Triple G fought in, didn't allow the stacking or the different layers of wrapping, and so that's why he had filed a protest. It wasn't received very well with the Nevada Athletic Commission. In fact, he was actually threatened to be removed from Canelo's locker room because of that protest. But in the UK, in Canada, in California, all these different jurisdictions in New York where Triple G fought, that they wouldn't allow that. So this time we want to avoid any type of last-minute confrontations. We want to get everything worked out between the Triple G side, between the Canelo side and Golden Boy, and the Nevada Athletic Commission. Everything was amicable with the officials, and we want to continue, whether it's addressing the hand wrapping, the gloves, any other pertinent information, as far as weigh-in, anything like that. We just want the focus of this promotion to be on the fighters in the ring, not any controversies outside of the ring.
Abel, do you expect to? You're not going to change the way that you wrap Gennady's hands, no matter what they say, right?
No, I don't believe two wrongs make a right. And if I take Gennady or any one of my other fighters to any other jurisdiction where they don't allow it, I don't want them to have any kind of thoughts of that that they don't have a cast on their hands in this particular jurisdiction like they had in Nevada, and they don't feel comfortable. So I want to keep it as much the same for every fight as possible.
Does Gennady have an opinion on this, or does it matter to him?
Геннадий, у вас есть что-то сказать по этому поводу? Вот для вас это имеет значение?
Как такового не имеет значения, потому что меня не было. Я не видел, как бинтуются его руки, и я выходил драться, не зная, как забинтованы его руки. То есть с моей стороны ничего такого. То есть если они поступили как-то неправильно или правильно, то есть это в первую очередь не мне судить.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen how his hands were wrapped, and it's I was fighting him without knowing how he was wrapped. So it's not up to me. It's not for me to make a judgment on that.
On the most recent 24/7 guys, Chepo Reynoso said that Gennady is like a donkey, and he just does the same thing over and over again. Abel, what is your response to that?
Well, Chepo Reynoso has never had an Olympian. Chepo Reynoso has never had a silver medalist. Chepo Reynoso has never had 18 world champions as I've had. Chepo Reynoso talks from Canelo. So when he gets to that level, maybe he can speak in an intelligent manner. But if you look at Gennady's record, he's beaten a lot of the champions in his reign. A lot of champions that are champions now, he beat in the amateurs. So to hear somebody talk like that is ridiculous.
Can you ask Gennady that also? What he thought of that?
Геннадий, просто я сюда сейчас вам переведу. Это Чепо Рейноса сказал, что во время съемок фильма 24/7, что вы двигаетесь как осел, который одно и то же повторяет во всех боях. Абель прокомментировал, значит, хотите вы прокомментировать такое высказывание?
Ну, я, наверное, повторюсь, я не допустил, то есть, несмотря на свой... То есть, это же все воспитание, то есть, я не допустил ни одного оскорбления личного в их адрес, хотя много можно чего сказать, но я не допускаю всего этого. Это просто говорит о той грязи, в котором они живут, что о их воспитании, то есть, о их образе жизни и о том, насколько они низкие и вообще сами по себе люди, что позволяют себе так высказываться о чемпионах, о спортсменах. То есть я даже это то есть мне это просто... Они в очередной раз показывают свое лицо, показывают свой статус, показывают, насколько они жалки. То есть я не хотел бы опускаться на их... Я просто не могу опускаться на их уровень.
Well, what I want to say is I don't really even want to go so low at the level of statements like that. It just shows a lack of class. It shows low class. It shows a lack of upbringing, lack of intelligence. So it just shows again how they behave themselves. I never able to say anything so low about anybody. So I just don't want to comment about this anymore.
Okay. Just have one last question for you guys, if I can. Canelo has promised that he's going to be more aggressive in this fight and fight Gennady more. Do you believe that? Because he said it before the first fight, obviously, and didn't do that. But do you believe with the emotion going into this fight that he'll fight more?
Канело сказал перед этим боем, что он будет более агрессивным, чем в предыдущих своих боях. Вы верите вообще в это? Потому что он в прошлый раз то же самое говорил. Может, он эмоционально это сказал?
Не имеет значения вообще. Вообще не имеет значения, что он говорит. То есть мы это все увидим 15 сентября. То есть мы будем судить за все это после действий. То, что говорят, они вообще не соответствуют их действиям. Посмотрим, что будет 15 сентября.
Well, it doesn't matter what they say. We'll see what's going to happen on September 15th, because very often what they say doesn't correspond to what they do. So let's wait until September 15th.
Abel, can you comment on that as well?
We're preparing for September 15th. How he talked for the first time, how he boasted, how Bernard boasted about being so great that he's going to knock out Golovkin in the 10th round in the last fight, and now what he's saying about this fight. I just hope that he's true to his word. The fans are expecting the Canelo that they've seen in the past, not the Canelo they saw last year. I think that'll give us, if he's true to his word, that'll give us the kind of classic fight that we expected the first time. Two guys that want to win. Not one guy that wants to win and the other guy's just looking to survive.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Once again, to ask a question, please enter the queue by pressing *1 on your touchtone phone. The next question in the queue comes from Dylan Hernandez with Los Angeles Times. Your line is open.
Dylan Hernandez.
Hi, guys. Gennady, could you just talk to us a little bit about what makes Abel such a good trainer?
Геннадий, вы можете нам рассказать, что делает Эйбеля таким замечательным тренером?
Спросите у той комиссии, кто признает его лучшим тренером в мире.
So you should ask the commission which recognized him as the best coach in the world.
And kind of as a follow-up to that, compared to the fighter that you were before you started working with Abel, how have you evolved as a fighter, in the years that you have spent working with him?
Если вы посмотрите назад, перед тем, как вы начали работать с тренером, с Эбелем как тренером, насколько вы изменились, как изменилось вы как боксер после того, как вы начали с ним работать?
Я, в принципе, не изменился. Я имею в виду, не изменился в плохую сторону. Я стал только лучшим. И, то есть, я очень благодарен Эбелу, который не позволил и не привел какие-то запрещенные препараты или какие-то запрещенные действия в мою карьеру, то есть, которое могло бы повлиять как-то на мой имидж. За это я ему очень благодарен.
Well, I haven't really changed. Most importantly, I haven't became worse. I haven't changed in the worse. What I really thankful Abel for is for not bringing in any illegal and banned substances into my fighting career, and haven't taught me something which was not allowed in boxing. So I really thankful for him being such a great coach.
All right, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in Vegas next week.
Thank you too.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you. The next question in the queue comes from George Willis with New York Post. Your line is open.
New York Post.
Yes. Hello, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Hey, George.
Great. How are you, George?
Good.
Good. The judging, such as it was, all three judges had Canelo winning the first two rounds and winning the last three rounds, I believe. What do you plan to do to change that in this fight?
Если посмотреть на судейство, да, вот вы видели, что судьи дали победу Канело в первых 2 раундах и в 3 последних. Как вы собираетесь вести бой в этот раз, чтобы такого не произошло?
Ну, я думаю, бой будет такой же, как и бой будем вести также по своей победной стратегии. Просто как мы можем гарантировать за судей? Мы надеемся, что в этот раз судьи будут более правды, честны, адекватнее, не столь неправы, как в прошлом бою.
Well, we will continue to implement our winning strategy in this fight as well. As far as judges, we can't really influence the judges. We just only hope that the judges will be more fair, more adequate, and more competent than the last time.
Mm-hmm. Abel, would you like to see a little bit more of a faster start, so to speak?
You know, Gennady is a fighter that is undefeated right now. He's got a stain on his record because of some bad judging, but he has a style that we've been very successful with. A fight is a 12-round fight, not a 2-round fight or a 4-round fight. So what we do at the beginning of the fight will be dictated by what Gennady sees. It's not a matter of being able to predict what can happen. If Canelo starts off like he did in the middle of the last fight, the same way in this fight, it's going to be difficult to chase him down and to make an impact on the judges. But like Gennady said, hopefully the judges will be as fair as possible. I think we have a great panel of judges this time, and the fight will develop. It's a 12-round fight. It's not a 4-round fight.
The magnitude of this fight, Tom, and the kind of eyeballs that are going to be on it, how much is this a showcase of what's going on in the sport other than what's happening in the heavyweight division?
Тому вопрос.
Well, George, you know, both Triple G and Canelo, they have tremendous fan bases. You know, this event, just like last September, when they get together, it really transcends boxing or world championship fight. It really becomes an international sporting event, and almost like a World Cup soccer match where you have flags, you have the fans chanting, just so much emotion and energy in the arena, and we expect it to be even a higher level now with all the controversies that happened, you know, in the scoring of the first fight, and you know the delay, the cancellation of the Cinco de Mayo fight. I think it's going to hit an even higher pitch with the rematch September 16th. So again, it's whatever controversy there is between the two sides, you got to give them credit that they're getting into the ring. A lot of people talk about fighting each other. This is the second time that Triple G and Canelo fought, and that's what makes this the biggest fight in the sport of boxing this year, because you know their fan bases, the international level. We have Triple G fans coming in from all over the world for this fight, and it's I think we're going to break the level that we set last year for the ticket sales, and the pay-per-view is also on track to be significantly higher than last year. So I think we'll see an even bigger event this time in September.
Great. And Abel, what's it been like for you to see the growth in Gennady's popularity from, you know, what it was 5 years ago or whatever, just to see how many fans he's made throughout the world?
Well, from the beginning, when I first started working with him 8 years ago, I sensed that there was something special about this young man, and he's proven me right, at least to me anyway. It's like one of my children doing well. All my fighters in my gym are like a family to all of us, to each other. So to see one of our kids succeed in the manner that he's succeeding, and to be adulated or have the adulation of the fans, not just the Kazakh fans, but worldwide, especially the Latin fans, for his style of fighting and for his style of entertaining, God, it's an honor to be included in the same ring and in the same sentence with Gennady Golovkin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the next question in the queue comes from Robert Morales with Los Angeles Daily News. Your line is open.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Abel, this question is for you. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay, man. Hey, listen, Tom Loeffler just mentioned, the fan bases of the respective fighters. And I'm wondering, based on my research, I know for a fact that Canelo has lost a few fans from the first fight, from the way he ran around to the dirty test, to his reaction to the dirty test. I'm wondering, in your opinion, more than ever, is Canelo's reputation on the line in this second fight? In other words, if he goes in there and runs around again and doesn't fight Gennady more, is he destined to lose even more of his fans than he already has?
I think he has a chance to redeem himself in the eyes of a lot of fans. But just because he's losing fans, Gennady's gaining them, or other fighters are gaining them. As long as the fans continue to watch our sport and continue to support us, Gennady will do his part. Canelo will do his part as he sees he needs to do, and if maybe in the future Canelo will be an afterthought if he doesn't redeem himself in the way that the fans want him to redeem himself. He's got a duty in this fight, not only to himself but to his people, to prove what he was telling all of us was true. And if he does, I think that he'll be celebrated. Win, lose, or draw, he'll be celebrated because of his approach to this fight.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question. If you do have a question, please press *1 to enter into the queue. Once again, to ask a question, please press *1 to enter into the queue. The next question in the queue comes from Salvador Rodriguez with ESPN.
ESPN, Salvador Rodriguez.
Hello, everyone. Hola, Abel. Hello, Tom. And Gennady. I have a couple of questions for Gennady. First of all, independently the result for September 15, do you see any chance to fight third match with Canelo Alvarez, or because the opinion that you have right now from Canelo, you didn't see any third match with him?
По поводу боя 15 сентября. Вообще, у вас вообще было когда-нибудь такое мнение, чтобы не стоило вообще с ним проводить этот бой, поскольку у вас такое негативное мнение о Канело Альваресе?
Да нет, такого не было. Наоборот, всегда хотелось его наказать, без разницы. Всегда это, то есть за все его проделки, за все проделки его команды, всегда хотелось поставить их на место, чего они заслуживают.
Well, what I always really wanted to do, I want to punish him. I wanted to have a fight and punish him for all the, bad things that he and his team have done. So basically, to put them, to size him down and put him in their place.
And second question for Gennady. I'm here in Mexico City right now. I know that how important is this fight for the sport of boxing right here, but how important is this fight for Kazakhstan? How is the feeling of the people in Kazakhstan, and how important is to give the victory to the fans in Kazakhstan to Gennady?
Мы знаем, насколько важен этот бой для всего спорта бокса, но вот для вас, Геннадий, хотелось вас отдельно спросить по поводу ваших казахстанских болельщиков. Насколько важен этот бой для ваших казахстанских болельщиков, вообще для Казахстана, для спорта Казахстана и для Казахстана в целом?
Я считаю, очень важно. Я считаю, очень важно, и практически весь Казахстан будет поддерживать меня, потому что мы в данный момент являемся чемпионами, и мы правы во всех отношениях. То есть мы не такие грязные, мы не полностью будем отстаивать свою сторону.
Indeed, it is very, very important for Kazakhstan and for Kazakhstan fans because we are champions right now. We are on the right side. We are not dirty, and we will defend our honor and defend our title.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next question in the queue comes from Norm with 15 rounds. Your line is open.
Hi, Gennady. Thanks for the time. I'm just wondering, have you ever faced or fought anybody that you have disliked so much as you seem to dislike Canelo? And if so, how does that change your training in terms of controlling your anger at him?
Знаете, у вас когда-нибудь в вашей карьере был противник, от которого вы так негативно вообще с презрением относились, как вы относитесь к Канело? И если да, то насколько это меняет в какой-то степени ваш тренировочный, подготовительный режим, с тем, чтобы ваши чувства не давлели и не мешали правильному тренировочному процессу?
Ну, в принципе, к тренировочному процессу я всегда подхожу к 100% отдаче, то есть мы готовимся ко всем одинаково, то есть очень качественно и очень, сама отдача полностью на 100%. Ну, а в данный момент говорить о бою с Канело, вы сами видите ситуацию, и вы сами понимаете и слышите ту чушь, которую они несут все. То есть, конечно, к нему отдельная, то есть неприязнь. К его команде отдельная неприязнь.
Well, first of all, I have to say that I always do my 100% and very seriously approach any training processes. Always do my best. As far as the Canelo team, you can see they continue to speak this nonsense and discredit themselves. So I have nothing to say about that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Does it affect his training, the anger at all? I mean, has it? I guess can you answer that, Abel? Do you notice a difference in his training because he's angry at Canelo? I mean, he just said he wanted to punish him.
Well, he's not angry. He's not angry. He's got a purpose in the gym, and he's got a purpose what he wants to do inside the ring. Canelo's done some things that he feels he needs to pay for, and he'll do that in the ring. In the gym, it's just another day training. In the gym, he's the same guy that he was before. He trains hard. Just his mentality for this fight seems to be very, very focused on trying to punish Canelo. As he was when he fought Steven, if you recall, when he fought Steven.
Right.
Steven
Yeah.
Okay.
But this one
kind of mentality.
This one just seems to have been going on and on and on. So it's.
Well, the reason it's going on is because they keep accusing us of insulting them, or saying all we're doing is telling you the truth. All we're telling you is what is happening as we see it, as it's being reported. So he's the one that tested positive. He's the one that the consequences for what happened on May the 5th, who we had to fight and what was done. He's the one that created that. It wasn't us. And to continue to sweep it under the rug and continue to not acknowledge the fact that you screwed up, I think is why this keeps going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you. Look forward to it.
Thanks, Norm.
Thank you.
The next question in the queue comes from Bernard Fernandez with the Sweet Science. Your line is open.
Yeah, gentlemen. Obviously, Bernard Hopkins' name's been mentioned because Gennady's going to try to break middleweight record. But Bernard Hopkins played a lot of mind with his opponent. That made them fight a little crazy and maybe not to their benefit. Most notably in the fight on September 29th of 2000 with Dead. For all this anger and stuff that's being mentioned and everything, could a little bit of it be maybe something, to get into their heads and maybe make them a little bit crazy too, and so Canelo fight the kind of fight that you guys want him to fight?
Значит, конечно, всегда, когда речь идет об следующем бое, вспоминается Бернард Хопкинс, рекорд которого вы хотели бы побить. Но Бернард Хопкинс довольно часто вызывал негативные чувства, его соперники, значит, ходили с ума, фигурально выражаясь. Вот, например, был, если вспомнить его бой 29 сентября 2000 года. Вот с вашей точки зрения, вам не кажется, что вот это такое вот как бы сумасшедшее напряжение, сумасшедшая какая-то атмосфера вокруг этого боя окажет на него влияние?
Да нет, вообще не кажется. Я вообще не думаю о Бернарде Хопкинсе. Или у меня бой с Канело, и то есть имя Бернард Хопкинс вообще как бы в этой истории вообще не участвует. Поговорим после 15 сентября об этом, обо всем.
Well, really, I don't think about right now about Bernard Hopkins. I'm thinking about my fight with Canelo, and as far as all the other association, we can talk about this after September 15th.
Abel, same thing. Is some of this the strategy maybe to make the other side a little bit crazy? And apparently, it's a two-way thing, going back and forth.
Yeah, in this gym and amongst us here, and I think I can include Tom in this, we have a lot of respect for Bernard Hopkins. We have a lot of respect for what he has done in boxing. We have a lot of respect for breaking the record. But to break the record and then use the page out of his own book would be something even better. If it's getting to Canelo, then I guess we've accomplished what everybody thinks we're trying to do. We were not trying to do that. All we're doing is just talking about the facts.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. The next question in the queue comes from Stephen Housen from SportingNews.com.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for the time today. Hi, guys. Thank you for taking me on the call today. And the question for Gennady, and we know what's on the line in terms of the title defense record, but what does this mean for you on a personal level, considering everything that has gone on with you and Canelo in the last year? So what does it mean? What does this fight mean to you just on that personal level?
Мы все знаем, насколько важен вообще этот бой за титул чемпиона и так далее. Но, Геннадий, для вас лично, как для человека на личном уровне, что для вас значит вот этот бой?
Лично для меня это, наверное, такой самый, хоть он и пришел уже в поздние годы, скажем так, но он самый интересный бой по всем составляющим, то есть по накалу, по то, что у меня соперник такой, то есть что этот бой будет самый большой бой в мире бокса, то есть он самый интересный.
As far as for me personally, all of this fight happened at sort of a later stage of my career. This is the most interesting fight. This is a most interesting fight because we have an interesting opponent, because we have a interesting situation, and it's a most important fight in my life right now. And also it's most important fight for boxing sport right now.
I asked Canelo this when I talked to him about 2 weeks ago, and I want to ask you the same thing, considering all the harsh words that have been said in the lead-up. When it's all said and done, however the fight is scored, or if one of you guys win by knockout, will you go over there and will you shake his hand?
Значит, я также с Канело тоже говорил, и вот за последние 2 недели. Давайте вот какой вопрос я хотел вас спросить. Вот как бы ни закончился бой, за исключением, если только будет нокаут, как бы ни закончился, кто бы не победил в этом бою, вы могли бы пойти в его угол и поздравить его и пожать ему руку после окончания боя?
Никто не знает, как это будет, но поздравлять точно никто никого не собирается.
Well, nobody knows how it's going to end, what will be the result, but nobody going to congratulate anybody, that's for sure.
Do you feel this fight is for your legacy? Yes, the title defense record, it is great. It's an amazing achievement. But do you feel that, take that aside, do you feel come September 15th, you're going to be fighting for your legacy?
Конечно, прекрасно, если будет победа, что это будет побит рекорд самое большое количество защит титула, но для вашего собственного истории в боксе, вот вы чувствуете, что это не просто будет бой как бы, ну, для того, чтобы побить рекорд, но как бы уже часть вашей истории, которую вы оставите в боксе.
Ну, конечно, конечно, все об этом понимают. Все это понимают, прекрасно очень понимают. И просто кто более честен, они признают это, а кто более такие, ну, негативно на это все смотрят, они не пытаются это признать. Конечно, это однозначно так.
Of course, everybody understands that. Everybody who's honest understands that's a part of the legacy of my legacy in boxing. So those honest people recognize it. Those who are dishonest, they try to forget about this.
And a question for Abel, I just want to ask you real quick, Abel, that what improvements have you seen from Gennady from leading into the first fight last year and heading into the rematch next weekend?
Well, I think at this level of maturity and amount of fights, the improvements are minimal. The improvements are a lot of times more mental than they are physical. But it's how you approach a fight mentally is just as important as the little improvements that we have. I had a fighter back about 25 years ago, Orlin Norris, fought Arthur Williams the first time and looked lackluster. And in the second bout, he knocked him out in the fourth round. And the way he went into the second fight was much better than the first one mentally. So I think that when you get to this level, when you get to this stage in their careers, it's hoping that everything goes right in the gym, hoping that there's no controversy, hoping that everything is 100% in the training camp. And they go into a fight with a different mode. They go into a fight that he said he wants to punish Canelo. He's got this thought in his mind that what he wants to do to him. And we train hard. We prepare just like we did for the first one. But the mental aspect of it is the most important part at this stage, in my opinion. Anyway.
And one question for Tom. You know, the first fight sold out rather quickly, and I was looking at the press release that you guys sent out this morning, and there's tickets still on sale. Why do you feel the rematch didn't sell out? It hasn't sold out yet compared to how quickly it sold out the first time around.
Well, I think some of it had to do with a lot of fans being disappointed with the Cinco de Mayo fight being canceled. A lot of fans made flight reservations, hotel reservations, and then were bitterly disappointed. Actually, that wasn't because of Gennady's fault, but you know, when you go through that expense, I think a lot of them were waiting until the final couple of weeks to actually make the reservations. As I mentioned before, this fight has a big international fan base coming in, and ultimately we're still on track to exceed the revenue that we did in the last fight. And you know, going back to that previous question that Abel had answered, you know, as far as Gennady's legacy, you know, this is a huge fight for Gennady, the biggest fight in boxing this year. But you know, there's a lot of names in the past that you know, we would have liked to have gotten in the ring who just simply, for whatever reason, chose not to fight Gennady. Whether it was Felix Sturm, whether it was Sergio Martinez, whether it was Peter Cullen at the time. You know, it was just a 6-year anniversary of Triple G's HBO debut, September 1, 2012. And there was an article on ESPN that listed all these middleweight names, and then it had Gennady, you know, having this big impact on HBO. And you know, that's where we're at right now. You know, you kind of had that blue collar career. He was willing to fight everywhere in New York, and LA, and London, and Monte Carlo, and Panama, and Kazakhstan, and Ukraine. And now he's at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas against Canelo Alvarez in the biggest fight in boxing. So this is definitely a legacy fight for him, and you know, I think you know, we'll see the best fighting the best, and that's really what the sport is all about. And that's what Gennady's always wanted. He's wanted that challenge of fighting the best in the division, and that's really what this provides with Canelo Alvarez.
And a follow-up to what you had said there, Tom, earlier in the answer. How many tickets have been sold thus far?
You know, I was going to go over that with Golden Boy today to go over what is remaining. We're just about 10 days out from the fight, but there really aren't that many that are remaining. So between the commitments to sponsors and the pre-order tickets, there still are some tickets available, but after today we'll have a better answer for that, especially going into fight week.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Gennady, and thank you, Abel, for the time. And see you guys next week.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And with that, we're going to wrap up the call. Gennady's got to get ready for his afternoon session. Thank you for joining us today. Just a reminder about tomorrow's pay-per-view undercard conference call. It starts at 1 p.m. ET, 10 a.m. Pacific, and all the pay-per-view undercard fighters will be on the call, as well as Tom and Robert Gaspari to answer any questions. Tom, any last comments?
Oh, I think we've covered everything on this call. We're all excited about the last week of training camp. Triple G arrives in Las Vegas on Monday. We have the grand arrival on Tuesday at the MGM. We have the Superfly show this Saturday at the Forum, and Jim Lampley with his Fight David special will be on HBO talking about Triple G fighting Canelo. So we're all looking forward to September 15th.
Abel, any last comments from you?
Yeah, thank you for everybody's participation. Thank you for the support. We're looking forward to a great fight. We'll see you guys on fight week, and make sure that you put on that great fight.
Gennady, I know you're getting ready for the big drama show. Any last comments for the media?
Yeah, absolutely. Just I want to say just thank you very much for everybody. I see you September 15th in Vegas. Okay, guys.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week in Las Vegas.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes today's teleconference. Thank you for participating. You may now disconnect.